Well, hello everyone, welcome to another edition of Crypto Corner, my video podcast where I discuss everything related to cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology. We have a very exciting episode today. I will be answering some questions from you guys. It's not going to be one of those regular episodes where we go through the news and the markets. There is more interesting and important stuff that I want to cover. So let's get started. Don't go anywhere. Okay, well, yes, there is a lot to cover today. I will be covering a couple of your questions because, in fact, one of the questions is the answer will actually take me pretty much the whole video. I don't really want to make these videos too long for you, and I want to keep them short and sweet so that you don't get bored and you really can absorb the information that I have for you, because we will be covering some important stuff. Now, before I start, let me first draw your attention to the Black Friday sales that are currently on, because this is really the time when you need to capitalize on this and take advantage of these offers. The first offer that I want to draw your attention to is one of my favorite hardware wallets. It is possibly the safest hardware wallet. It is called Cobo Vault Pro, and I did a review on that some time ago, earlier this year, in fact, when I received my own device, and I did a tutorial, step-by-step tutorial on how to set it up and how to use it. What I really like about it is that it's entirely air-gapped, meaning that there is no connectivity to internet or even to your computer. You are navigating it through an application on your mobile phone, which is connected to the internet so that it can read the data from the blockchain regarding your coins and everything. But when it comes to executing transactions, you are scanning a QR code from that application, so the device does not connect to your computer or to the internet at any point, which leaves no room for error or no room for hacking the device itself. And even if there is some sort of tampering, or if someone gets hold of the device and tries to destroy it or tries to manipulate and hack into it, it has a self-destruction mechanism. This is Cobo Vault Pro. That model particularly has this option, so this is why it is my favorite device. It currently has a 25% Black Friday offer. It's running throughout this week, and you can grab the link from the description box below and apply the discount code that I have also pointed out in the description box. So this is Cobo Vault. My second favorite device is Ledger Nano S and Ledger Nano X. I have both of them. Ledger Nano X is probably the one that is most easy to use, and because of Bluetooth connectivity, you can actually use it with your mobile phone as well, so it's good for on the go. Ledger Nano S doesn't have that option, so you will be using it with your computer, meaning from home mostly. But let's face it, if you're going to be holding your Bitcoins and Ethereum and all of these long-term holdings in there, you don't really want to be moving around with it, traveling too much with it. So it's either device is very good, whether you go for the S or the X version. It's really up to you. Of course, the X is slightly more expensive because it also has some extra features like the Bluetooth connectivity and some other ones. But even if you just get the S, this is a really good device. So it's really up to you. Go and check them out. I also did a review on Ledger Nano X and Ledger Nano S before that, years ago. I did tutorials step by step, again, setting up how to use it, how to upgrade firmware and all of these things, important stuff. 40% off this week until the end of the week. So make sure that you grab this while it's on sale, because these kind of sales, they only come once a year, and now is really the time to be shopping, if you ask me. On top of that, cryptocurrencies are pumping. We see really big prices right now, high jumps of 30, 40, 70%. I mean, this is the time to be using some of these profits in order to take advantage of these offers. Okay, the next one that I want to draw your attention to is Token Metrics. This is the website that I am using in order to help me with my analysis of coins and charting and everything that I'm doing when I'm picking coins to trade, especially for trading, not so much for long-term holding. What is good about this is that it gives you all the data and a lot of different analytics tools that you can use in order to see if a coin is worth investing in. And also you can it saves me time, for me especially, because I'm checking, as you see on the screen, I check here the different coins, and I see whether the technical analysis of Token Metrics team is bullish, bearish, or what are they giving me. And then also they're giving me a selection of coins, that kind of suggestion of coins that are good to be trading this week. So this saves me the time to do my research. And then of course I go into more details with these coins, and I go into their charts, and I see what I'm seeing there, whether I want to trade it or not. They also have price prediction tool, which is really good, and that also saves me a lot of time, because it kind of helps me with my own technical analysis. Of course I do technical analysis myself, but I'm trading more than 40 or 50 coins at a time. So if I have to do technical analysis on my own of all of these coins, it will take me hours every day. So this tool alone is saving me at least 4 or 5 hours every day, and I quickly spot which are the coins that I want to pay attention to, and then go and do more research about them. They also send emails almost every day with more research and more in-depth technical analysis and everything. So it's a very powerful tool. They currently have 40% off. In fact, their sale is actually starting on Friday, on Black Friday. But right now, what you can do with the link in the description box, you can get a trial, and as that trial expires, you will be able to upgrade with that 40% sale price. And even more importantly, they are launching on Black Friday, which is their anniversary as well. They are launching a new tool which will be taking into account 56 different metrics, qualitative and quantitative analysis metrics, that will help them bring even more coins to their database and even more precise price predictions. So grab the link from the description box, check out, give it a test run for a few days, and then upgrade if you like. Nobody is going to force you to upgrade, but it is a very helpful tool. So it's one of my top tools. 40% discount, that is almost half price. And speaking of half price, actually, I have my own book to also do a special offer for you guys. All along this week, I'm doing a special offer on Learn Crypto. This is the book that I published just a couple of months ago. I packed all of my knowledge over the last 5 years from trading and investing in cryptocurrencies in this book, and there is a lot of information that for anyone who is new to cryptocurrencies is going to be invaluable information. I'm talking about the different coins, the different types of tokens and coins, differences, what is a market cap, how to go and find the coins how to research the coins that you hear about. Of course, you always have to do your own research. So I'm talking about the different steps that you need to take when doing your own research. And also I'm talking about in the part 2, it's in 2 parts. First part is more general information, and the part 2 is the more technical side of things, more tailored towards investors. And I'm talking about how to find your exchange, what is a good exchange, how to pick up the right coins to invest in, how the market cycles work, what to expect from market cycles. And that's something that we will be talking in this video a little bit about as well. Also, I'm talking about the mistakes that people make when they first invest in crypto. I'm talking about strategies about investing, like really everything that you need to know. And I'm currently having a 50% half price, basically, discount until the end of the week as well. So this is to do with Black Friday. So make sure that you go and check this out as well in the description box. Now, this is it for the offers. Now let's take a look at the first question that I will be answering today, and it is from Khaliza. Khaliza Hadid is asking me on YouTube, where did you check the coins lists beside CoinMarketCap? Okay, so it is actually quite simple. This is also another thing that I'm covering in the book. I have a whole chapter about this, and also in the resources section in the book, I give you links to everything that you need to use. So let's go into my screen here and show you what are the alternatives to CoinMarketCap. I will have the links in the description box, so make sure that you check them out. CoinGecko is the one that is now the top alternative of CoinMarketCap. Many other websites started using the data from CoinGecko instead of CoinMarketCap, especially after Binance bought CoinMarketCap. So I'm using all of them, by the way. Another alternative that I really like is called Messari.io. What I really like about them is that they give you the price in Bitcoin as well as the price in fiat. So you can easily see how coins are doing according to their fiat value, but also against Bitcoin. And also I like the fact that they give you all these time frames, so you can see what these coins are doing in the last week, in the last 30 days, in the last 90 days, even last year, and also year to date, meaning from the beginning of this year or going back a year from this date. So this is very handy when you're doing research and analysis on different coins. Also, another website that I'm not using that much anymore because they changed their interface. It used to be slightly better before. Now I don't really like it anymore. coincheckup.com. Okay, another alternative, which is a little bit more artistic now, and we're getting into there are even more alternatives, but I'm not really going to cover all of them because, quite frankly, these are already good enough for you. Now, if you want something more funky with a slightly more interesting interface and graphics, you can go to cryptobubbles.net, and here you will be seeing, how the coins are performing according to their well, you can actually change these metrics here. So the bubble size could be according to market cap, or according to the volume, or according to performance. What does it mean? Performance is what is done in the last 24 hours. So right now we are seeing quickly which are the bigger gainers here according to their bubble size. If you want to check how they rank according to market cap, then you're going to go here, and of course Bitcoin is taking everything, most of the screen, in fact, because it has such an enormous market cap, but it's usually performance that we are judging, so this is why I'm keeping it at performance. And here you can change it whether you want to look at a day or a week period or a month or even just an hour, and so on and so forth. There is another one here that is very popular with Twitter and Instagram users because it provides very kind of eye-catching graphics. This is called coin360.com. And also the link is in the description box. So here again, the bigger squares are the ones that have the biggest market cap, and you are seeing what is their performance. So we see now that Bitcoin, as I'm speaking, is actually touching 19,000. Good job. Ethereum is 600, so not much difference from yesterday, just dropped actually, you saw that. Ripple is at 61 cents, it went to 70 earlier, so it's dropping a little bit, but I'm not actually doing the market analysis right now, so let's not get into too many details. This is what I wanted to show you here. Now let's go. So these are the alternatives, Khaliza. Thank you for your question. I will have the links to all of this in the description box, so make sure that you go and check them out. Now let's take a look at what is the second question, and this is the one that I will be spending most of the time with, because it is in fact a quite a big question. Monica was asking me, this is on Facebook. She is asking, what are the signs of a final big correction, continuous drop, or hitting a certain number? And then she's adding another question, which is what percentage should she be taken out or cash out until the correction ends? Okay, not ends. I think you mean until the correction starts, probably. Okay, well, so let's start from the beginning. First of all, what I'm going to do is explain to you how the market cycle works, because this is something that we really need to understand before we start talking about when it's a good time to be taking a profit, and you know, when you should be cashing out, and when is a correction coming. And also, there isn't just one answer to this, a simple answer. There are many factors that you need to take into account when you are investing in cryptocurrencies, and you should really decide when to cash out according to the cryptocurrency that you're holding, because if you're holding Bitcoin, it will be different than what it would be if you're holding some altcoin. And even with the altcoins, it will also be different whether you're holding an Ethereum or Litecoin or I don't know, Monero, some of the coins with strong fundamentals. So maybe you're holding a new coin that doesn't really have strong fundamentals. Maybe you bought it because of a certain price movement that you wanted to, you know, take advantage of. But should you be holding that for long term? Probably not. So the first thing that I want to say is that if you're talking about long-term holding, then you should really consider the strong fundamentals, coins with really strong fundamentals that have already been proven over many years, such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, even Ripple. Even though not everyone likes Ripple, it has strong fundamentals. Many people believe in it. Many people like that coin and trust in that project, and they hold it longer term. Litecoin is another one with strong fundamentals, even though many people are now questioning whether it's actually needed and what its utility and everything. Nevertheless, it actually has strong fundamentals. Dash has strong fundamentals. Monero, as I mentioned, has strong fundamentals. Lately, Link has come out as a really strong coin with strong fundamentals as well. Then you have some of the newer ones, Compound and Tezos and things like that. Many coins have strong fundamentals, but in terms of long-term holdings, I actually prefer to hold only coins from the top 5 or something like that. I don't even go to the top 10 as when we talk about long-term. And really the long-term for me, the long-term hold is Bitcoin, nothing else. Even Ethereum, which I am holding longer term, I'm not really considering as a fully long-term coin. I'm not holding it for 2, 3, 5 years. As soon as I see a pump, I will be selling, and this will be later on. I will be talking about that a little bit more. So this is it. If you're holding Bitcoin longer term, then you have to question yourself, do you care about the short-term swings in the market? Bitcoin going to 19,000 right now and maybe dropping to 16,000, but then later going to 25,000 and then dropping to 20,000. Do you actually care about the short-term swings, the drops and the going ups? Or are you holding it really long term and you're looking for Bitcoin when it goes to 30, 50 and more K? Is that your strategy? You need to have a plan. You need to have researched that coin. And if we're talking about Bitcoin, there is tons of information and many analysts and people predicting different prices and everything. But I think we can agree that the overall sentiment, the overall majority can agree that Bitcoin is really going towards the 30 and the 50K and possibly 100K, and many people talking about 200K and so on and so forth. What is your strategy? Do you want to hold it until 30K or 50K, or are you scared and you want to sell it as soon as it hits the all-time high, which is 20K? Are you going to be selling it then? You need to know what is your plan, and if that is your plan, stick to it. Maybe you're comfortable selling it at 20K because you bought it at, who knows, 3,000, 4,000. Maybe you bought it like me at 400 or 500 and you are fine with selling it at 20,000 because it is a very good profit for you. Maybe you want to chase higher profits. Maybe you want to be wise and just cash out a little bit at at these levels right now, and then wait for the correction and then maybe purchase again. But don't go full in and all in, and don't go all out is what I would suggest. Cash out a portion, maybe half of it, maybe more than half, maybe less. This is up to you. I'm personally going to be cashing out maybe a third of my Bitcoin at around when it tops, and I'm not going to time the top, but first I will wait for it to top out and start correcting. And when I see that the correction is definitely a deep correction and not just a minor market swing, I will then cash out and wait for the correction to go all the way down, and for that ABC correction, which it will be, to actually play out and accumulate it again. But I will be cashing out the bigger portion of my Bitcoin when it goes to above 50K. This is my plan. This is my strategy. I'm sticking to it. I know it will happen deep down for me, so that's what I'm gonna do. With Ethereum, however, I'm not so sure whether I will be waiting too long. Maybe as soon as it tops out right now, I might sell all of it, or I will at least sell more than half of it. And then I will wait for the correction and I will accumulate again. So this is what I'm personally doing. And Markets are going in market cycles, and this is why I have the graph here, because I want to basically quickly explain how this works. I've done it in previous videos, but maybe you haven't seen those. So let's take a quick look what is happening with the market cycles. Basically, and these market cycles always repeat, guys, especially if the asset is a good asset and it has good fundamentals. It is most likely than not that we're going to see a repeat of this cycle again and again and again. Some coins, certain coins that are really crappy projects, they may not really experience that happening again and again. They might actually go through that cycle once and then just never recover from it and just stay low. But if the coin is good, and this is why I was talking about stronger fundamentals coins for longer term holds, then they will go through that cycle. And this is how we start. So first we start going up, and we are going up and up and up, and we are correcting ever so slow every time, maybe 10% or 15% correction, and then we keep going up and we have another 10, 20, 15, maybe even 20% correction. But we are in a bull cycle because we are making higher lows and higher highs. Every time we are making a low, like after we fall from a high and we fall to a low, that low is actually higher than the previous low. We see here, this was the previous market, and because it's a cycle, so this is coming out of the previous cycle. We see here there was a high and there was a low, and this low was actually lower than the previous low. So this was not really the beginning yet of a bull market. But as soon as we started printing higher lows and then higher highs than the previous lows, we entered a bull market, or at least a bull phase. And as this market is riding, we get to an optimism stage where everyone starts getting very optimistic about the prices. This is where we currently are. Everyone is starting to buy, even, getting hyped up and getting caught up in FOMO, and they're jumping in, and the price starts going up and up, starting to actually speed up now. And at some point it becomes kind of very parabolic and exponential growth. And this is the danger zone. This is basically when you get into the thrill zone, where things are pumping so hard that you've already made maybe 100 or 200 or even 300% on your on the price that you bought it. So you're getting really thrilled and euphoric. This is the last stage here, euphoria, when the things are sharply jumping up and they're getting into really parabolic moves, and everyone is getting caught up now in the hype and the FOMO, and they think this thing will never go down. I'm buying even more, and as soon as that happens, it crashes. The euphoria is literally the last stage of the hype, of the pump and the bull market, and then we start having the correction, and the correction is called ABC. It usually goes like that. You have a correction, a point down, it goes quite sharp low, and it reaches maybe something like 30 or 40% even from the price when it was pumping here. Actually, it's more like 25 to 30%. Then we have a B, which is kind of a recovery phase. It goes up, it recovers some of these losses. And this is usually when I'm going to be selling. So first I'm going to wait for the correction to happen to really confirm that it's a correction. Then I'm going to be waiting for the B wave that will be kind of recovering half of that correction. And it will get usually to it's somewhere here, which is the previous resistance level where we saw a little bit of resistance in the coin, in the price, and a bit of consolidation maybe for a few days. This is a good sign that this is going to be a level that will be tested and most likely stopped out. At this point you are selling, and then it begins the third wave, the C wave correction, which is really sharp, and it takes you all the way down to 70, sometimes 90%, and all of that. So this has happened in many markets, guys. And I'm using that just as an example, just to show you that these kind of market cycles actually happen a lot. So this is not even the recent Ripple chart. This is from at least 3 years ago. This is 2017. So we see here we're going up, and at some point we're actually getting really parabolic, literally just going straight up. It's no longer, in stages. It's not even small candles. We're talking huge red green candles here. This is usually when we are getting a correction after a move like this. And also this is accompanied by RSI, which is the relative strength index. When it goes above the 70% here range, when it goes here above this pink, I mean, this could be looking different on different websites depending on what you are using. But when it gets to that high, it's usually showing you that it's overbought. The coin, the asset is overbought. And overbought means that a correction is due. So what happened after that? Well, you guessed it, a correction. Not as sharp as what we were seeing in the other chart, but a correction nevertheless. And this is why it's good to actually sell when you see this kind of pumps. So one way to do it would be to sell in little portions on the way up, but you never really know how far up it will go. Another way is to sell on the way down. Okay, you're gonna say in this way, you're gonna miss the top, but you can never really guess the top unless it's a previous top that we've already achieved and you expect it to be stopped out there as a resistance. That's the only time you can actually guess the top. Like right now, I can guess that Bitcoin will stop around 20,000 and take a breather, maybe correct a little bit before it goes and attempts to break maybe 22 or something like that. But once we break that, we don't really know how far we're going to go because we're going to be in uncharted territory, meaning we're not going to have any history, past data to base our prediction on, and it can do anything. So this is basically the same chart, just what's happening after that. So it went through that pump here, then it corrected, it did the A and B wave, and then the C wave took it down here, and then it started consolidating. Apparently the market was still strong, we were still in a bullish bull market, so people were still keen on buying more. And then what happened? Boom, up again. So it started, this is now not only parabolic, this is exponentially parabolic. This is hugely parabolic. What happened, and we can see here, the RSI goes up here, but it keeps staying up above 70%. So it is overbought, but it doesn't correct, and it doesn't correct all the way. So this is what we were looking at, by the way, just the previous slide was down here. So we didn't even see the end of this green wave. So it was looking like a huge one, but look at what happened, even more and more and more. And we've been in this overbought RSI for this whole bull run. This is why what I'm saying is that once we go in uncharted territory, and this is the biggest bull run of Ripple, it went to $360, $340. It's never been that high ever since. But here at 80 cents, we were thinking, oh, this thing is really going up, I should be selling in this chart. Look, it's at 60 cents and we can't even see the top of it. It's going straight up. And typically you might be tempted to sell here. This is probably better so that you can see it bigger. And this is what I'm saying. If you start selling on the way up, you actually don't know how far up it might go. And in this case, it went all the way to 80 cents. If you sold at 60, then you can't even buy it now at 60 because when it was correcting, it didn't go, or maybe it touched 60, but that's, you know, that's not a guaranteed. Then it did another leg up and it stopped and it corrected a little bit. So these are accumulation moments that you can, if you want to really catch this kind of a pump, you need to accumulate on these corrections. And then it went up and up again, and the RSI kept going up. At this point, it starts correcting. It went up. It didn't manage to reach that price for too long. As we see here on the daily, this is just a wick rather than a proper candle. It's only a wick, meaning that the buy here was weak and the sellers were actually quite strong. And this kind of predicted that a dump is coming. So sometimes you have this kind of indications that a dump is coming, and you can, you know, try and guess that and sell here before really the big dump. But sometimes you don't really have this kind of signs. So not every time you're going to have such a clear sign that the market is exhausted. But typically this here, the fact that there is a lot of selling, it's pushing the prices down. Buyers are trying to, recover and still push the prices up. Sellers are still hitting them, and they're unable to go any higher than that. We now have been here for how many days? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, almost a week. We've been sitting around these prices. This is a sign that the market is exhausted, and after that it started dropping. And you can sell on the way down. This is still a profit for you. If you sell down here or even down here, you are still at a profit because you were buying down here. Maybe you were selling up here, but then you rebought and you're still in profit. You don't have to wait for the correction to go all the way down here, because in this case, look at it. This was the first wave. It dropped all the way here, and then it bounced back. This is when you are selling. If you missed selling here, you wait for the bounce back and you are selling when it comes these wicks here. These are all prices where it went. So even though the candle stops here, the wick, actually the price did go up here. And this is what price? 220. So it went all the way to 160 or 150, but then it recovered to 220. Now it's your time to sell. And then it went down and down and down, and it continued. So this is how you can be selling, either on the way up if you're comfortable with your profits and you want to cash out, or even better, on the way down. Now here is Bitcoin. So this is what Bitcoin was doing 2018. When you see that, you would think, okay, this has been going parabolic. The RSI is really overbought, so I have to start selling. But as I said, if you are timing the top, then you might be selling a little prematurely. So you need to wait for the bounce. So it started dropping, as we see here. It started dropping. I'm gonna wait now for the bounce, and I'll be selling at the bounce. However, what happened after that? The bounce was actually stronger, and it wasn't just a bounce back from the drop. We printed a new high, a higher high than the previous high. Then we printed another low, which was a higher low than the previous low. So that told me, hold on, don't sell yet. You have to wait. We're not finished yet. We're not done yet. So this is what I'm saying. If you are selling on the way up, then you might actually miss out on this kind of profits. And you really need to wait until you have a confirmation that we're not going to go any higher. So if I was selling here and here, then I will be missing out. And as I'm waiting for this, I'm still not sure at this point whether we have exhausted it. We are still quite high, and it's still a parabolic move. So I can still expect that something will happen. And yes, it does. So it goes down. It first drops to around 11,000 or something like that. Then it bounces back, recovers to 15,000, drops again, recovers to 17,000. If you missed selling it during these days here, these weeks, you should definitely be selling it now. Okay, another thing that you need to take into account, if we're talking about altcoins, is that you need to monitor. And especially if you're going to be investing in various altcoins rather than just one, which is usually the case. Nobody invests in just one altcoin. Most of the time you would be having a diverse portfolio. So we're talking 3, 4, 5, 10, 20, whatever. If you want to know when a correction might be coming, it's a good idea to monitor the dominance of the market cap of altcoins. And as we see, this is also a chart that you can analyze just like any other coin, even though it's a combined market cap of altcoins. What we are seeing right now, and you noticed we've experienced a lot of altcoins booming in the last few days. This is also reflected here. We're on the green, we're going up, and we're going up a lot. But before that, as you see here in September, which is just after the August pump, we were correcting and all of the altcoins were bleeding. If you were following my videos, you noticed I was talking about that. So throughout August, we had a strong, what we call an out season. All of the altcoins were pumping. Literally, whichever coin you buy, the next day you're in profit. And they were pumping and pumping and pumping. And at some point they peaked and they started correcting. And throughout September, we were correcting most of the time. We were also consolidating, but a lot of the coins were actually bleeding and they were on red. Now we started pumping again. So if you are in altcoins and you want to know whether it's worth waiting and holding that coin or these coins and waiting for another pump or something, or maybe it's a correction, you should look at that, because once you see these kind of red candles coming and starting, then you might want to exit the altcoins and wait it out. Wait until it bottoms out and the bleeding stops, and then you can get in again. Because if you sold here, whichever altcoin it was, if you sold around here when it started bleeding first, when it's still 10 or 15% down, then you wait until it goes 20, 30, 40% down, some of them did, and you buy it again much cheaper. So you can buy the same amount of coins for less money, and you can just get some of those profits out and spend it. You can have pocket money now, or whatever you want to do with this money, of course. So this is one thing. Then also you might want to watch the market dominance of Bitcoin, because this is also very important for altcoins. Right now, we are in an altcoin season again for the last few days. This is why we saw Ripple jumping 70%, Ethereum jumping 40% over the last week, and Polkadot and all of these, Link and all of these other coins, all of them are pumping a lot, because the market dominance of Bitcoin is actually going down. And when the Bitcoin dominance is going down, money is usually flowing into altcoins and fiat as well, maybe stable coins as well. So yes, when the market dominance of Bitcoin is rising, which is what happened previously, then the altcoins are struggling. A lot of the times it will take, it will give them a boost as well, but they're gonna struggle against Bitcoin. However, when Bitcoin's dominance weakens, not necessarily its price, but its dominance, then the altcoins are thriving and they're peaking. So right now we're seeing that the Bitcoin price kind of became stable over the last few days. It was between 18,200 and 18,600. For a few days, it was just between these two levels. Okay, today it went to 18,900 and 19,000. So that's a slightly different story. This is why we're seeing this green candle now. Money is going back into Bitcoin. But over the last 3 days, as you see here on the daily, even the last 4 days, the dominance was weakening because Bitcoin's price wasn't moving very much, and traders were hungry to find altcoins that they can make a profit rather than sit in Bitcoin that is not moving very much. So these are all factors that you have to take into account when you are deciding when is a good time to exit or should you stay in a coin. Also, don't get greedy. This is another thing that is very important. It's good to take profits whenever you can, because if you bought certain coin, let's say you bought Ripple when it was 20 cents and Ripple today is 60 cents. It went to 70, but it got rejected. It started going down and it's now at 60. You are in profit, right? Maybe you put $1,000 in Ripple. And if you bought it at 20 cents and it's now 60, that means you've now got 3,000 in Ripple. You're in profit, but you're not going to be in profit if Ripple goes down and you didn't cash out. So at least cash out your $1,000, your seed money, the money that you initially put into that coin at this price. And then you've taken your money back. Whatever happens now to that coin, you're not going to make a loss. You might lose profits, but you're not going to lose your money anymore. And then you can wait it out and see where it's going to take you. It might go to 70 cents. It might go again to $1 or even above and make even more profit. But it might actually go back down to 40 or 30 and stay there for another 6 months. And it's best that you've taken out some of that money. You can now allocate it to a different coin and you can make some profit with a different coin, even better profit. And these are my tips, guys. So basically, don't forget, don't get greedy. Always have a plan. And if you have a plan, stick to it. You can adjust your plan. You can do more analysis and find out fundamentals or technicals that actually support a different theory than yours. So you might change your plan and everything, but at least have a plan with what you can do with that coin, how far it can go, what you're comfortable with, and stick to it. Ladder your sales. This is my other point. your selling positions. Don't sell in one go. Always leave a little bit. First sell as much as you can in order to recover your seed money, as I gave you the example with Ripple. Once you recover your initial investment, then you are more comfortable because you're no longer going to be making losses. And with that, the rest of that amount that is still in the coin, you can decide whether to sell some more when you see a pump. And especially if you see a strong pump of 30 or 40% in one day, then you're almost guaranteed that there will be a correction. So you can use these kind of pumps or even bigger pumps. Sometimes I've seen a pump of 90%, 100% in one day. They're always followed by a deep correction, strong correction. So I would use these kind of pumps to sell. And I would be laddering my sales, because if I'm selling on the way up and I don't know how far we will go, I will sell a little bit and I will set another order for a higher price. If that order gets hit, then I will set another order for a higher price. Or maybe I would even set 5 orders for a higher and a higher and a higher and a higher price. And then the next day I wake up and I see that 3 of these orders got hit and executed, but the other 3 were too high. They didn't get executed. Now we start correcting, and I'm no longer going to be waiting for higher prices. So I'm going to sell at the current price or something like that. You have to play it by the ear. There is no fixed rule about it, but this is basically how I would do it. And I would prefer now, with what I've learned, I would prefer to wait for the coin to top out, and I'm gonna be selling it on the way down rather than trying to catch the top, because it's very difficult. The same way, you shouldn't be trying to catch a falling knife, which is, trying to buy the coin as it's going down. You don't want to be buying it when it's going down. You want to be buying it once it stops going down and it kind of plateaus and it really, bottoms out, as we say, and it starts the next cycle. So once, let me get into the cycle here. Once you see that the coin has already topped out, which is this here, the depression phase, which everyone at that phase is basically selling out and capitulating and everything, this is the accumulation phase. This is when you can start accumulating. When it's really bottomed out, it starts making higher lows and higher highs and higher lows and higher highs. And now you know that you are most likely entering a new bull phase. And once you are more confident in it, maybe you wait a little bit, it reaches the disbelief stage. This is when it really starts going higher, and the previous holders in disbelief, they sold their coins, they capitulated here in the depression phase, and now they're too scared to buy it again because they have a bitter lesson. And this is an accumulation phase. This is when you should be buying, rather than trying to buy here or here or here. Because this is when you are buying and you think, oh, this is so much lower than where it went, but it can go even lower. And then you're buying it here again and you think, yeah, this is the bottom. And it's, so much lower. This is a support here. We see this was a support before that, so it's now a support. It stops here for a few days. Maybe it goes a little bit higher and you think, yes, I got it cheap. I got it at the bottom. No, not really. It can go even lower and it can go even lower. So you have to wait out all these stages and don't try to catch a falling knife. Don't buy it on the way down. Buy it once it starts going up. When it does this higher lows and higher highs, then you know that you're most likely entering the next bull cycle, and this is when you buy. And you also wait for a breakout. That's something that I'm going to be talking in another video. By the way, I'm talking about the market cycles in great detail in my book, and I'm explaining how they work and what they are and how the FOMO and the FAT is working, why so many people are getting caught up in FOMO. This is another rule that I have. Do not buy in FOMO and do not panic sell. Do not sell in FAT, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. So all of these things, even this whole lesson that I gave you today, is actually featured in the book, but there is so much more in the book. So please go and check it out. This is my Learn Crypto book. It is an ebook, so you can download it on your phone or on your tablet. You can read it on the go, and it's gonna give you a lot of insight, way more than what I just shared with you in this video, and definitely is going to make you better equipped in order to invest in Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies wiser and safer than what you will be doing. I'm talking about all of the mistakes that I've made personally, so hopefully you're not going to be repeating these mistakes. Well, this is everything from me for today, guys. Thanks for staying until the end of this video. Now it was a little bit of a longer video this time, but we had to really cover all of these questions. And again, thank you for your questions. I will be doing more of these ask me anything type of things, so keep leaving your comments below and on Twitter and on my Facebook and other social media. Keep asking me questions and I will try to answer them to my best knowledge. This is all for me for today. I'm gonna sign off now. I'm gonna leave you and I'll see you in the next video.